proliferation of low-wage jobs. Most people are stuck in jobs that don't pay enough, nearly enough for their basic standard of living. We're not talking about having the luxuries and all those frills on top of that. We're talking about, do households have the ability to pay their rent? Do they have the ability to afford health care, education for their children, food for their families? And we're seeing the majority of working people steadily going towards the bottom.
My name is Christopher King. I've been a daily news reporter, an assistant state attorney, and a closing attorney in real estate. And I make real movies about real things and real people.
I feel like what I'm going to do now, so since I put in the work report about the attempted break-in over here, I'm going to put that together with the video that I got here and the report and everything, and just be like, hey, is there any way we can get some more, like, just outdoor cameras,
Have a chance to win. You got more votes than the mayor in the primary, and yesterday you made the cover of the Stranger. And so, first off, I just want to start off by asking you what made you run for city council?
So I'm a member of a nationwide activist organization called Socialist Alternative, and we are an organization of social and economic justice activists, and we've been involved in a lot of campaigns, including we are sitting right here in Seattle, and we had the anti-WTO protest movement in 1999. That's one of the movements we've been involved in. More recently, we were part of the Occupy movement in Seattle and in New York, and we're also part of the Occupy Homes Minnesota campaign, and mostly in Minneapolis. And so we have a long history of activism, and I was personally quite integral to the Occupy Seattle movement here. And it's interesting that we are sitting here at Bills of Broadway. It's just across, diagonally opposite my school, Seattle Central Community College, where I teach, and that's where the Occupy Seattle encampment was brought. And I think that was quite a historic moment how the movement was able to achieve that. And I think after that, during the presidential election year last year, we were trying to understand what is it that we can do in order to politically engage a larger group of people. We thought Occupy was a tremendous beginning, and we need to take the movement even further. And we know that the anger that was expressed by the Occupy movement against the blatant inequality in our this is a capitalist system, and the blatant inequality that results from capitalism and the way government is run under capitalism, and the outrageous way in which financial institutions and hedge fund owners, they precipitated the economic collapse, and then they were the ones who were rewarded. And in fact, I'm sitting right here with a very recent article from the New York Times, which, this is from the Seattle Times, but it's reproduced from the New York Times, which is the updated study, the famous study from Piketty and Saez. Since the recession officially ended, the 1%, the top 1%, has captured about 95% of the income gains in this economy. And the richest 10% of households own about 90% of all of the stock. And so, what's really happening here is that you have two economies. You have an economy that works for the super wealthy, for the CEOs, for the bosses, for the big corporations like McDonald's and Walmart. And you have another economy where the 99% of the population, working people, the elderly, the disabled, young students, children, are not only not gaining from the economy, but are losing out steadily since the recession began in 2008. This has been a long, decades-long process, and now it is becoming even more clear to people that most of us are not gaining. And that's the spirit behind which we ran this campaign this year, and also